Hello everyone, welcome back to Happier Hour. I hope you are enjoying your mental health journey with us. Today we have with us Munira Soni. She's a therapist and counseling psychologist based out of Mumbai. She's been in Singapore and Hong Kong for past few years and she was practicing there. She has a private practice under the name Man Heal and she's also associated with Zubin Foundation. She's associated with a lot of online platforms like Rich Psych, United We Care, and eYogi. Welcome to the show, Munira.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
So, Munira, you are from India. You've been to Singapore, you've been to Hong Kong, and you have, met a lot of clients who have gone through trauma.
Right.
So, exactly, है क्या trauma?
So to start off with, definition wise, trauma is basically a lasting impact that an event or incident has on a person. मतलब ये पहले हो चुका है, but that person is still reliving that entire incident in your present, in this moment, right? And this also rewires your brain into negative directions. You are not able to enjoy pleasure and joy. You're constantly on the वो radar पे रहते हैं, alert, hyper vigilant, that कुछ fearful होने वाला है, something is going to happen to me. So you're constantly living in that zone. So these are the basic, I would say, symptoms or how one can identify that, I am experiencing a trauma or I'm reliving a traumatic incident of my life. So this is how you would, summarize trauma.
तो जो आपके पास पेशेंट्स आते हैं तो आप कुछ एग्जांपल्स देंगे कि कैसे मतलब क्या होता है ट्रॉमा में, वो किस वजह से आपके पास आते हैं, उनको क्या फील होता है?
So again, it varies from person to person. Some clients do have an understanding that, I've experienced a trauma. But sometimes, the memories, they're very suppressed. Childhood incident hota hai, or somebody doesn't want to talk about it. So they will come with these superficial symptoms, like what they're experiencing on the surface. I'm experiencing breathlessness hota hai, or headaches hote hai. So of course, the trauma can be, communicating to different symptoms. So headache है, constant overthinking है, sleeplessness है, anxiety होती है, overthinking, a lot of things. So they will come with these kind of complaints that I'm very anger होता है, irritability होती है, and that is where we try to initially when I'm taking a case history. So my case history is very in depth. I try to ask a child's or a person's, school history, childhood history, family environment, even how the father and mother had the relationship when the person was the client जब उनके childhood में था. Then equation with the in-laws, other family members, even neighborhood. So this gives a very thorough understanding of the person के क्या इनको trigger हो रहा है. And of course, client will not have any understanding कि मुझे क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है. They are like just telling, sharing, venting out. But of course, then after first session, second session, as we dive deeper, we try to uncover, you try to understand कि you see a relation that आपने ये incident के बारे में बात किया है, and this is how it is surfacing and it is triggering you in this, like your present time right now. So that is how we try to correlate. But sometimes, and some clients are very upfront that I've experienced abuse, or I have experienced rape or whatever, and then that is when they like now what to do. Action is done, the event is done, but the person who is paying price is you.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do about it?
So आपने जैसे कहा कि कुछ हुआ है इनकी लाइफ में और अब मतलब इनको फील हो रहा है, एंजाइटी फील हो रही है, फियर फील हो रहा है, या दे आर रीलिविंग द मेमोरीज. तो आर दीज ट्रॉमा ट्रिगर्स या फिर there's something else which is called trauma trigger? Because I've heard that there's something called trauma trigger.
Correct.
So are these trauma triggers or there's something else?
Yes, definitely. So again, the trauma triggers can be very individualized. So trigger is what? Something, a stimulus that triggers you. So it could be anything in the environment. It could be a place, it could be a person, it could be any food item हो सकता है that can even trigger some memory, some past memory. So it could be anything. It's something very individualized. So the client sometimes, again, as I said, they do not have an understanding, or sometimes they are very aware I am getting triggered. So that is again based on the client's understanding of how intelligent or how connected they are to themselves and whatever they have gone through. So that is how it goes on.
So कुछ examples होंगे आपके clients के, of course, I mean don't take names, but a few examples from your clients on exactly what happened with them, how they came to you, and what happened in their life
So while I'm still associated with an NGO in Hong Kong. So I had a client who was experiencing severe, panic attacks in closed places. जिसे phobia होता है that when I enter a lift or some closed
Yeah,
enclosed places, the client was experiencing panic attacks. She collapsed twice on the metro rail also.
Okay.
So initially when she came, she's like, I don't know, because she never had, if a person has phobia, they should have a history. But this thing got triggered during COVID. So of course, I was trying to understand that COVID and panic attack, I mean, in a close place, what is the connection? Of course, chalo mask hai, to sometimes you feel suffocated. But why is this happening on a recurrent basis? So then I tried to, of course, 3-4 sessions, so we couldn't crack this down. She was trying to journal her thoughts. Of course, she had been a victim of physical abuse by her husband. She had 4 kids. So basically, she was a domestic helper in Hong Kong, and then she married a person in Hong Kong, and that guy left her with 4 kids. So it was so traumatic. She was all physically injured, bruised, and everything. She told me, and that was again one of the trauma: physical abuse, domestic violence. But we couldn't identify what is called triggering her this thing, panic attack. So that is when I think in the 4th or 5th session, I tried to ask her that, if you go back, can you recollect any incident, where you felt suffocated or choked or, this thing. That is when, she started sharing that she was 10-year-old and she's basically a Christian. So they had to go to some church and light some candle. So I think apparently there was a rule in Philippines that they had to pay some money to light that candle, and she did without paying and without informing the attendant in the church. That is when that lady literally got her. She took her into a room and she literally choked her neck, and she told her that how dare you light the candle, and you will be now punished and I will kill you. These were her words that I'm going to kill you. And then she started crying. She's like, please, I'm sorry, I will not do this, and please let me go. That is when she let her go. So now imagine this incident happened when she was 10 years old, and now she's 45. And it was a suppressed memory. मतलब हो गया था incident. But what triggered, nobody knows. But then she started experiencing the panic attack. Now, similar symptoms what she experienced that time, I'm feeling choked, I'll die, somebody will kill me. So that is when it happened. And trust me, after we completed our sessions, she is now successfully able to travel in trains, lift, taxis without any panic attack. So of course it took a lot of time, but that acknowledgement that just able to vent out that thing, just वो बाहर आना ही was very important. That she's spoken about it.
I mean, it's very surprising, shocking that something that happened when she was 10,
Right.
and it suddenly surfaced when she was 45, because it did not appear anywhere in
Anywhere.
between.
So that's what, when I was analyzing the case history, I'm like, in nowhere, there is history of, कि उनको anxiety का हो. Domestic violence, she mentioned very clearly. Whatever, small incidences also, she mentioned that, how he has hit her, how he left her night में, and everything. And how he was with kids. So if a person is talking matlab, clearly about it, so there is no signs of any trigger here. Of course, mentally it has been affecting her that, she's a single mother of 4 kids and, in a foreign country, managing expenses and everything. It's not easy.
Correct.
And like doing everything all by herself. So that was a challenge for her. But again, the way she was talking about it, I did not feel that, ये उसको affect कर रहा है. So it was very, so here, I think the therapist का intelligence and their alertness is very important, that are they able to find out what is happening and what is triggering this person.
So I mean, in her case, how did you go about it? So when she came to you, she told about, I have this issue, I have panic attack and I faint in the metro. तो उसके बाद आपने क्या किया exactly अपने sessions में that this thing actually came up?
Okay. So initially, my usual protocol with all my clients is, after the first session, I just ask them to start being more conscious about their thoughts. Okay. So I have a small worksheet, like it's of course available online also, which is known as thought record sheet, where I compulsorily ask all my clients to, that first week of your session, you should get into this habit of identifying your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior. Because it's a vicious cycle that follows that, आप trigger हुआ, कुछ हुआ, आपके mind में thought आया. Like, even just sitting, nothing, you are thinking about something. then that thought is definitely going to make you experience or feel some kind of emotions. Now again, when you go on to the part of emotions, people just think के emotions तो 3-4 type का ये happy, sad and anger.
Correct.
But if you would Google, there is an entire emotional
Gamut of-
wheel which has more than 100-200 emotions a human being experiences. So then I educate, of course, मतलब आप कहते हो psycho education. So you educate the client on understanding कि अगर आप ये wheel देखते हो, so these are the emotions which a person can experience. So when you're identifying your thought, along with that you identify कि which emotion you're experiencing. अगर happy भी है तो happy में कौन सा criteria है, which emotion specifically you're experiencing right now. So that person has to write down, and then the behavior, okay, what behavior did you indulge in. अगर आपका thought positive होगा, so of course the emotion will be positive and the behavior will be positive. But if the thought is negative, definitely emotion will be negative and the behavior will be negative. You know, you might shout at somebody, you know, आपका frustration आप बच्चों पे निकालते हो, आप मार डालोगे, will fight with somebody, probably even eating a chocolate. When you're angry, when you're upset, so you know, emotional comfort food आपका बजा, then you start regretting, oh my god, मैंने chocolate क्यों खाया, you know, I'm going to gain weight. Then again that next cycle starts. So it's a vicious cycle: thought, emotion, behavior, thought, emotion, behavior. So initially first 2 weeks I'm just trying the client to get into habit of, you know, understanding this cycle, how your thoughts are triggering your emotions and what behavior are you indulging in. And as we progress, we try to understand how you can change your thoughts.
Okay.
Right, because you cannot control thinking is a very automatic process. So when a client will say that, you know, मैं बहुत overthinking करता हूँ, I want to stop my thinking, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's an automatic process, but what is in your control is how you can change your thoughts from negative to positive by identifying your belief system. That, you know, what are the irrational thoughts, unhelpful thoughts. So how you can eliminate that from your routine, from your mindset. So then slowly, when the client gets the hang of it, you know, they are able to control the situation more, because now they know कि अब response मेरे हाथ में है. The choice is in your hand.
Yeah.
Initially when they come and say नहीं मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ, वो मेरा husband मुझे trigger करे, मेरा बच्चा मुझे गुस्सा दिलाए. But ultimately the choice is in your hand how you are going to react. मारना ना मारना आपके हाथ में है. आप मारने के बाद आप बोलोगे यार मैंने मार दिया. So of course next time the client will be more careful कि no, now I know I can control my actions.
So basically you're saying it's first you identify your thoughts.
Yes.
You keep a record of it.
Yes.
And then you see the pattern that thought is actually leading to emotions. Emotions are leading to a certain behavior. And then you try to change your thoughts around it.
Correct.
Okay. So I mean, this is what you did with your client.
Yes, initially with that lady, I asked her to, like, you know, do a lot of thought journaling, because living alone, she wasn't even talking to her parents and no social circle around. So imagine वो overload of information in your head. कुछ तो exit होना चाहिए, right?
Correct.
आपका physical waste निकलता है, liquid waste निकलता है. What about the mental waste? वो कहाँ निकलता है? It is literally circulating inside you. Then even when you're sleeping, you're like quite, you know, alert. You are not able to sleep. Why? Because the mind is active. The information is here only. जब तक ये आपका calm down नहीं होगा, ये light नहीं होगा, how are you able to go to sleep? So you know, when somebody talks also that मेरा मन हल्का हो गया, वो मन हल्का नहीं होता, ये आपका हल्का हो रहा है, because this baggage has been, you know, offloaded.
Correct.
So you feel that, you know, my mind is light now because मैंने किसी को कुछ बता दिया हो, भले वो कचरा जैसी बात हो, or something very significant also. But when you talk to somebody, you know, you feel that, you know, oh, something has been, you know, offload.
So basically in thought journaling, what exactly is the process? So is it like a set questions that you have and, you know, a person needs to go through, or, you know, it's like whatever is coming to their mind, they just need to journal it and see the patterns?
So again, I do not like, you know, give any strict protocol कि ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. But what I ask the client is to write down your daily thoughts, which you feel, you know, has been very significant, and the client, the therapist should know that, you know, ये जानना जरूरी है कि चलो, you know, घर में है, family setup में है, mother-in-law ने कुछ बोल दिया, and you know, you experience something negative. So you write it down because it has impacted you. And even for that matter, I ask them to write good, मतलब positive thoughts also. Not necessary कि आप हमेशा negative ही बोलो. Then what happens? आपका focus सिर्फ नेगेटिव पे जाता है. So the idea is that embrace the negative and the positives both. So I even ask them to write the positive thoughts. So initially अगर आप किसी के journals देखोगे of my clients, they'll be full of भर भर के they'll write ऐसा हुआ. Then slowly after some sessions वो thoughts ही उनके कम हो जाएंगे because they are able to understand that ये relevant नहीं है. Why am I giving my attention on this thought? So that वो आगे का process carry on हो, the emotions and the behavior तक. Basically you have to imagine a cloud. आपने sky में cloud देखा है, cloud आता है, slowly it passes away, then you see another cloud. So same are your thoughts. They keep coming and going. When they become मतलब significant कब होता है जब आप वो thought पे attention देते हो. You like you pick that thought के चलो मुझे अब इस thought के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचना है. That is when emotions and behavior come into action. Otherwise वो thought आके चला जाता है, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि मैंने ये सोचा हुआ है. Like you sit in a cab, train, you think so many things, but आप हर चीज पे ज़्यादा attention वो चला जाता है within few seconds. So that is where you have to learn that control, that let that thought go without me reacting or me doing anything about that thought. So automatically after a while you will get the knack of it. Okay, how can I let these thoughts just pass without me reacting to it?
So is it like a special kind of training that a person needs to undergo to let these thoughts go? Because I mean, you're absolutely right. Thoughts keep coming.
Correct.
So there's no stoppage to it. It just keeps coming. But how do I not pay attention to it?
So that is when therapy comes into practice. Of course, you learn a lot of techniques. But there's one of the techniques known as thought stopping technique. So you try to say stop mentally in your head. Like how you have to imagine a red signal. वो stop जो हम रास्ते पे देखते हैं. That stop. Try to constantly say that stop. Distractions really help. But try to indulge into something else. So automatically initially वो आपको bother करेगा. But once your focus is going somewhere else, that thing will not bother you. Music होता है, indulging in some mindful activities, meditation है, a lot of things are there, which can help you distract and divert your mind from that thought. आप कुछ काम करने भी लग जाते हो, cooking वगैरह में, so automatically आपका focus वहाँ होता है. That thought will pass away.
Okay. Going back to the client that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, after you asked her to do thought journaling, thought recording. So what happened? I mean, what did she come up with? And then how did you proceed with it?
Okay, yeah. So initially, of course, she was journaling about her daily routine, that how क्या उनके daily के thought process है and how it is affecting her, what emotions. Like I told you initially, the thoughts were mostly negative because managing 4 kids, finances and everything was taking a heavy toll on her. So she was journaling about her daily routine, and then slowly when this incident came into light, so that is when the intense work starts. So initially I asked her to write letters to her own self, which is known as inner child healing, one of the concepts. So I asked her that as and when you have time, you are in the right frame of mind, because this is a very deep work and it can trigger you very badly. Because again she's all alone with just kids, so her safety was also a priority, that what if she gets another panic attack while doing this activity at home.
Correct.
And in COVID we were not allowed to have face-to-face sessions also, so I was literally seeing her on Zoom. So that was again a challenge, because when the client is in session, when you have a face-to-face session, you can आप देख सकते हो body language, you can help her monitor her. But at home, who is going to do that? But उसके mind में एक वो उसने ठाना हुआ था that I want to heal, I want to come out of this cycle. So that is a game changer. That वो client का mindset ready है that I want to work on myself, then nothing can stop you. अब phobias हो, बड़ी बड़ी बीमारी हो, you can overcome because आपका mindset है that I want to heal. So I had, of course, you explain your client very clearly that this is going to be deep work, this can trigger you, this can cause intense more trauma to you. So you should be mentally ready before you do this work. So so my thing was to her was to write letters to her own self. Why? Because as per my analysis, I noticed that she's holding herself responsible. That I went into the church, मैंने गलती की है, that is why मुझे उसकी सजा मिली है, that I was punished by that attendant in the church. Not knowing that she was not at fault, just a 10-year-old following what others are doing. सब light कर रहे candle को, तो मैंने भी light कर दिया. But
Correct.
because of that punishment, she took it on herself that I am responsible. So that forgiveness is very important, to detach yourself that I am not responsible. So I asked her to write letters to herself, and trust me, she has written almost 20 letters to herself.
Wow.
And I love reading all these letters. मतलब I wait for my client's journal every day that इसका thought record sheet क्या है, इसका letter क्या है, इसकी journaling क्या है. So initially letters were very sober, she's writing letters to herself, describing her school days, and how because they all are farmers. So how she did not get to study, she had to drop out from school because father couldn't afford, because there were 4 siblings and all. So then she has written all these things, and slowly, so and then she came on to this incident, where she responded, like she wrote in detail what happened, how many girls were with her, क्या उसने कपड़े पहने थे. I asked her to be very specific, so that you are able to एक बार का हमें निकालना है तो वो पूरे डिटेल में, it's like how you're writing a script.
Correct.
So that is how she wrote it to me, that everything in detail, that what happened, what time, क्या हुआ, room कैसा था, how did that lady looked, and everything. And she wrote this, and of course during the session I asked her to read out that specific letter which she had written to herself. I asked her to read out, and then towards the end I asked her that I want you to forgive yourself right now in the session. So she's like, how to do? I cannot do, because it was too much overwhelming. Like she was sobbing and crying. So I'm like, calm down, just shut your eyes, and you just go deeper, like imagine your little self over there, and just forgive that, I am sorry for holding you responsible for this incident. And that is when she was like able to do it. Of course it's not easy कि एक बार में हो जाता है. So as she continued writing the journals, I asked her to forgive herself towards the every letter.
Okay.
So every letter, if you would see, they will have some or the other theme or pattern. कभी anger का हो जाता है, कभी family की वजह से कुछ हो जाता है. So the client, of course, you train the client to identify the pattern कि ये letter की आपकी theme और pattern क्या है.
Okay.
And based on that, towards the end of the letter, you forgive yourself. Because till you don't forgive yourself, how can you forgive others, and how can you heal your other relations? आप अपने आप को ही इतना गिल्टी मान रहे हो, अपने आप को इतना पेनलाइज करके रखा है, like you're living in a trap.
Correct.
And because of that trap, you cannot just enjoy and live a normal life outside, because आप खुद फंसे हुए हो अपने चुंगल के अंदर.
Yeah.
So we did that work, and I think towards all the session, she was able to forgive herself. She got back to her normal, because she was a basketball player. So then she told me that, ma'am, now I'm going and playing basketball also in the evening. So I was so happy that one small thing, मतलब it can impact you so much. आपने एक छोटी सी चीज जो आप enjoy करते थे वो भी आपने बंद कर दिया था. Now she's playing basketball. So she's able to, like, of course now she's doing absolutely fine. She keeps messaging me hi and hello with na I touch hai, but yeah, I'm very happy that now she's like, I can travel in train, lift without any fear.
And there are no triggers now.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. So that forgiveness was what she needed. अपने आप को release करना था. That little girl, 10-year-old need to be forgiven. And जो हुआ वो हुआ.
Correct. हाँ, because I think whenever such things happen, usually people start holding themselves responsible कि मैं वहाँ क्यों था, जैसे आपने कहा कि वो भी कह रही थी कि मैं गई क्यों. सो मोस्टली वैसा होता है जब भी कुछ ऐसा ट्रॉमेटिक एक्सपीरियंस होता है या कुछ गलत होता है तो पीपल स्टार्ट क्वेश्चनिंग दिस थिंग कि मेरी ही वजह से हुआ, मेरे को जाना ही नहीं चाहिए था. सो आई मीन it's a big thing. And is it like if such people, of course, I mean they need to go to a therapist for sure, but if they see that this is a pattern, writing letters to themselves and forgiving themselves, is it a way? I mean they can help heal themselves.
This is one of the way. Like of course I'm not saying every client I would ask them to write forgiveness letters to themselves. It all depends of the severity and intensity of the client. To everyone I'm not suggesting that you do this forgiveness. To some clients I ask them to write letters to their abuser also, or to that person in the life who has impacted them a lot.
Okay.
So वो भी बहुत ही challenging part होता है, because they have just shut down that communication कि मुझे उस बंदे से बात ही नहीं करनी है. Sometimes in some cases they are their own parents, own sibling, or sometimes own spouse होता है. डिवोर्स केसेस होता है नो वेयर दे हैव अ वेरी ट्रॉमेटिक मैरिज एंड दे आर लाइक कि मुझे इस बंदे से कोई कम्युनिकेशन नहीं करना है, बट वो आपका बॉन्ड हो गया है ना, आप कनेक्टेड तो हो, यू आर बीइंग अफेक्टेड. सो माय प्रायोरिटी इज माय क्लाइंट्स वेलबींग. आई डोंट केयर कि हु इज प्लेइंग द रोल, स्पाउस है, फादर मदर है, दैट्स नॉट रेलेवेंट टू मी. माय प्रायोरिटी इज योर वेलबींग. एंड अगर वो बंदे से आप जुड़े हुए तो आई हैव टू डू द इनर वर्क फॉर यू. आई हैव टू गाइड यू दैट आपको ये चीज करनी है. सो वो क्लाइंट को पहले कन्विंस करना, यू नो, इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम दैट, यू नो, वो कनेक्शन समझो कि इसकी वजह से यू आर बीइंग सफर, लाइक यू आर सफरिंग इन योर प्रेजेंट. तो वो पहले उनको वो लेवल पे लाना, वो पॉइंट पे लाना, एंड देन, यू नो, मेकिंग देम राइट दैट लेटर इज अनदर टास्क. बट क्लाइंट्स हैव डन, आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई हैव अ क्लाइंट who is on his 60th letter right now.
Wow,
Still he is
60th.
not able to heal. उनका चला is like, you know, every letter I write, you know, I feel that, you know, मैंने एक baggage कम कर दिया है. But still he's like, I have more things to write. I'm like, continue your journaling. So आपको एक, you know, that वो inner आपको voice एक guide करेगा कि no, now I am done. I don't have anything more to write. And they are done. So I'm like, you listen to your inner voice. There is no set way, there is no protocol, nothing कि ये rule book के नहीं ऐसे ही होना है, ऐसा नहीं है. Healing journeys, you know, very, 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 very individualized, you know. You do as you feel like, but I want you to enjoy the process and the journey, because when you come out of it, you know, you look back कि आप क्या baggage carry करके, you know, you have been messing up with your present. So that is very important that, you know, you enjoy the journey and whatever you do. अब भले वो pain होगा, but then कहते हैं ना that uncomfortable is growth.
Correct.
So the more discomfort you experience, that is actually helping you grow. जितना comfort zone होगा, you're going to die a slow death. It's like, you know, a piece of you is dying in that comfort zone.
Correct.
Because you
correct,
don't
correct.
want to make that change.
हाँ, because, you know, I heard that there's something called PTSD and then there's something called PTSG, which is post-traumatic stress growth.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it's basically opposite of PTSD, wherein,
correct.
you know, in PTSD typically you are you know, depressed, you are in a circle, you're having negative thoughts, whereas in growth you actually take it as a challenge.
True.
That now I need to do something about it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, in PTSD, when we are talking about PTSD, typically what is PTSD, and you know, how does it surface in clients, and do you have examples from your, you know, experience as a therapist on PTSD?
So again, just to brief about it, PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. So it is a mental condition where a person has experienced a traumatic event or is a witness to it. So इसमें दो तरीके के लोग होते हैं कि एक उसका हिस्सा था और एक ने खाली as an observer, the person has seen it from an outside thing. So for example, witness would be, you know, accident देखना, fire हुआ, and you know, you being a part of it, you know, where you आपका ही accident हो गया हो, right? और you know, आप कुछ fire में आप, you know, acid attack survivors or someone like that. So they come into the criteria of, you know, you being a part of it. So this is how you define PTSD. And of course, in this, you know, the client experiences difficulty sleeping, you know, constant anxiety, shortness of breath, you know, difficulty breathing, because वो trauma आपके mind में चल रहा है. भले again the event has happened in the past, but you are constantly on that, you know, radar that, oh, you know, फिर से कुछ हो गया तो, you know, फिर से मैं ऐसा हो गया तो, अगर for example आप कार चला रहे हो, किसी ने आपको एक्सीडेंट आपका हो गया है, सो नाउ व्हेनेवर यू सिट इन द कार आल्सो, यू नो, यू हैव दैट कांस्टेंट फियर कि, यू नो, अभी एक्सीडेंट हो जाएगा, यू नो, अभी ये ठोक देगा. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पीपल इवन स्टॉप ड्राइविंग. सो दीज आर द इम्पैक्ट, यू नो, अ ट्रॉमेटिक इंसिडेंट कैन हैव ऑन अ पर्सन.
आई मीन, इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग व्हेन यू सेड कि दो तरीके से हो सकता है, एक तो खुद के साथ ही हुआ हो या फिर आपने किसी के साथ कुछ ट्रॉमा होते हुए देखा या गलत होते हुए देखा है, तब आपको भी हुआ हो. आपको भी हो सकता है. सो डू यू हैव एनी एग्जांपल्स जहाँ पे ऐसा है कि, यू नो, समवन सॉ एन इंसिडेंट एंड दे आर गोइंग थ्रू trauma themselves, they are going through this experience themselves?
Okay, so this was one of the case during my internship. So the girl came in, of course, with, you know, symptoms of PTSD and, you know, trauma. And so initially she was like, you know, I'm not able to sleep, बेहोश हो जाती थी बार बार, collapse. Even in college she used to collapse. So like you know when we took the case history, तो initially तो कुछ ज़्यादा बताया नहीं, but then of course my supervisor told me that you know there has been a very major incident in her family. So basically her father had raped her sister, and this girl was brave enough and courageous enough to you know make a police complaint and get the father behind the bars. तो उस टाइम पे the father was already in jail, but now this girl had you know severe coping issues. Why? Because first is family. You know, instead of supporting that what she's done, the family was blaming her. You know, तूने अपने father को मतलब you know जेल में भेज दिया. They did not see that you know what crime the father has done by raping his own daughter. तो वो तो बाजू पे ही था, but then they literally you know constantly shaming, you know blaming her, and she was in that dilemma that whether I have done something right or wrong. One side पे that daughter part was there that you know I shouldn't have done this, man मुझे अपने father की complaint नहीं करनी थी, but then on the other side there was a sister and a moral person you know who was literally that you know I have to stand with truth. You know, I have to literally be there कि you know ये गलत है. And of course they came from a very low economic background, so basically the father was an auto rickshaw driver, so now since he was behind the bars, managing finances was also another challenge कि income source क्या होगी. So that was another, and then she was studying in the college, so बहुत मतलब she was going through very difficult times, and this was of course being an intern आपको भी इतने experience नहीं होता है you know to handle such sensitive clients, but touch wood you know we had supervisors, professors you know who were there around me, and of course my colleagues to support us. But this was you know this case has always been you know very special to me because I really learned a lot. And you know initially आप internship पे होता है you know you are loaded with such you know such severe cases, so it's of course very आप भी initially काफी affect होते हो because you know you are not trained that you know you're a psychologist, you're here to help the client, but क्या होता था you also get affected by listening to such stories you know that oh my god ये abuse case है, and you know rape case मतलब abuse तो चलो ठीक है, rape is again something more severe. And when you know that the father is only doing this to his own daughter, so you know you constantly आपको लगता है कि यार our daughters also safe in their own homes. This is another you know discussion that where is our safety.
Correct.
And when we talk about you know an observer, so of course you know abuse and violence has been a part of I think every household, and a lot of kids has also you know observed that you know as a child that you know father is beating the mother, they're abusing, fights chal rahi, and you know we normalize this, and when we grow up you know we also tend to fall in that pattern. And you know we also hit our kids, you know हम भी चिल्लाते because हमने ये देखा हुआ है, so it's very normalized कह रहे you know मम्मी भी तो करती थी, दादी भी तो करती थी, so no why not us. But of course now social media awareness and everything you know people are getting more conscious of their actions, that you know we are not going to repeat what you know we have literally imbibed in us. जिस चीज को normalize किया गया था वो चीज normal नहीं है. So it's a lot of inner work. Like personally me also if I want to talk about myself you know mom dad थे strict थे you know dad used to you know hit us beat us, मम्मा तो लगता था कि नहीं यार तो ये normal है because my दादाजी used to say that you know हमारे बच्चे तो इतने ये थे कि मैं खाली आग दिखाता तो डर जाते थे, तो हमें लगता था ओ नो नहीं दिस इज द वे ऑफ डिसिप्लिनिंग. बट एज वी रियलाइज दैट यू नो नो दिस इज नॉट नॉर्मल यू नो बच्चों को मारना. ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग दैट आई डू रेज माय हैंड, बट देन sometimes you know I get very conscious that no you know I have to stop. I don't have to get into this you know just because ये मुझे सिखाया गया है, मैं इसे हुआ, I'm not going to repeat that cycle. You know गुस्से में even I yelled and I'm like immediately you know I calm myself, I go and apologize to my kids also you know sorry mama hit you know sorry mama yelled at you. So that is very important that you know आप चलो हो गई गलती but at least आप acknowledge तो कर रहे हो, so ना kids are able to learn that you know कि गलती मान लेना भी बहुत बड़ी बात है, and that also immediately because आपको वो awareness immediately आ जाता है that you know you're repeating something, you're indulging into something wrong.
Correct. I mean, going back to the example, the case that you were explaining for the women who saw her sister getting raped by the father. So, I mean, when she came to you for therapy, what exactly was she experiencing? And I mean, how did she, you know, come out of that experiences that she has had or she's seen?
So to be very honest, we couldn't complete the case because she discontinued college, I remember, for a while because physically also she was not able to cope well, because I told you that she used to collapse in the college, and then they used to bring her to the therapy room so that she could lie down, because we had a bed वहाँ पे था ऐसा, she could lie down, she could rest, but whenever we used to start therapy she used to just start crying. मतलब इतना रोना तेरे को, because there was so much of guilt and hurt and pain inside her, and she used to just cry. So I remember in one of the sessions I had my colleagues also being with me. So I just asked her that you lie down on the bed, and you just communicate whatever you want to your father. Imagine that your father is here. So that was a very painful session which I have literally worked on with her. So she started that आपने ऐसा क्यों किया, मतलब she was describing that हम तो आपको ये मानते थे हमारे father है, and आपने ऐसा कर दिया, वो भी बहन के साथ, वो आपकी छोटी बेटी है, एंड आपके जाने के बाद घर का माहौल बत्ती हो गया. इट वाज वेरी मतलब एंड आई रिमेंबर दैट शी वाज क्राइंग एंड शी वाज लाइक खत्म, शी जस्ट वेंट साइलेंट. सो वी ऑल गॉट मतलब ये फिर से शी इज लाइक अनकॉन्शियस हो गई. देन we just asked her to stop, we gave her some water, asked her to just sleep for a while, because because आप उसका हाथ पकड़ते ना, ice cold, and she was just trembling. It was like very very intense and very sensitive case. So I remember that then we did not have any further sessions also with her, because it was like it's not something at least interns, me as an intern would handle. So even the supervisors were like we can discontinue this thing. But that was really impactful session client, I remember so far in my entire professional journey.
Yeah, and I mean in her case, like you said, it was emotional, psychological and also physical.
Absolutely.
कि मतलब वो जब बता रही है ये केस तो बता भी नहीं पा रही है, मतलब she is like reliving that entire thing, पूरी ठंडी हो चुकी है.
It was an everyday thing, she used to relive that daily. Because वो घर में जाके sister को देखना, looking at a helpless mother whose husband is behind the bars, she was having a lot of guilt that what have I done.
But मतलब जो आपने उसको बोला कि you imagine your father is here and you talk to him, तो उससे क्या होता है exactly, मतलब why did you suggested her to do that?
So you have a lot of like I said, suppressed emotions, suppressed thoughts, and a lot of suppressed information inside you, because आपने वो दबा के रखा हुआ है, and you did not get an opportunity to have a closure or to complete something, right? So when you have this kind of setup, because ultimately she's in a safe space.
Correct.
Therapist सामने है, एक room है जहाँ पे और कोई नहीं है. So deep down the client also knows के, of course when you get into that journey आपको पता है कि आप बात कर रहे हो, but somewhere आपको पता है that वो person सामने real में भी नहीं है. So imagine अगर वो बंदा सामने बैठा होता, तो it couldn't have been possible only because आप नहीं बात कर सकते. So when you do this activity, it really helps. At least एक opportunity तो मिलती है आपको to say whatever you want to, whatever unfinished businesses है, unfinished communications है, incomplete चीज़ है जो आपको वो closure, because जब तक एक person को closure नहीं मिलेगा कोई भी चीज़ का, you will not be at peace, you will not be at rest. वो restlessness, that racing thoughts is going to be there. So at least this gives you a closure and opportunity to communicate. Even in like simulated situation, आप खाली imagine करो कि बंदा सामने बैठा है, मेरा abuser सामने बैठा है. Now talk.
I mean it's very difficult.
It is absolutely, it is very difficult. Some are not able to do, but then with the help of therapists, you like you help them, how beneficial it is going to be for you. Some clients are willing to do this. This is one of the techniques from Gestalt therapy known as empty chair technique, where the client has to imagine that सामने वो person बैठा हुआ है, then you start talking, whatever it is you want to. At least you went out, वो निकल जाता है मन से. And it really helps. I've seen a vast difference when a client does practice this, because when we write letters and also then when I see that the client is mentally ready, थोड़ा strong enough to do the next level, that is when I ask my clients that अभी आपने letter लिखा है उस बंदी को, now imagine that वो बंदा सामने chair पे बैठा है, you have to read out that letter. So initially they are very scared कि no हम नहीं कर पाएगा. If we have face to face session, I guide that. Imagine I am sitting on the chair, probably I stand behind, सामने चेयर है, imagine a person बैठा हुआ. Sometimes, you know, we even keep a photograph of that person that, you know, so that, you know, gives them that real thing that, you know, you're fully involved in that moment.
And when you said empty chair technique, इसमें मतलब you are in a way talking to,
That
you're imagining
person.
that person and you are
Yes.
talking to that person.
Yes.
So I mean इसमें you are मतलब जिनके साथ हुआ है, they also forgive the person, or it's more about, you know, they just say whatever they are feeling for that person.
It's again, you know, see, there is no set protocol. Sometimes वो लेटर लिखते हैं, but you know, when they start talking, वो लेटर तो साइड पे हो जाता है, you know, उनके मन का और ही कुछ बाहर आ जाता है. And again, you know, forgiveness, I leave on the client that whenever you are ready, you do this. Because मैं forcefully करवा दूँ, but अगर आप अंदर से ready नहीं हो किसी को माफ करने के लिए, so it's not going to be, you know, helpful. So then I ask the client that, you know, you choose your readiness. Whenever you feel you are ready, you forgive that person. So, you know, they can repeat this entire activity, like, you know, up chair set up karo, you know, dim the lights and everything, and you know, you start reading on, and towards the end, you can, you know, ask the person that I forgive you for whatever you have done to me. So at least, you know, you cannot undo the actions or the past, but at least you are clearing your karma, and you know, you are feeling at ease that मैंने अपने end से, you know, I have done my part. So you are at ease and you are at peace, which has to be the priority, be it anything. That your mental wellness should be your top priority.
Yeah, makes sense. And you know, I mean, when we talk about trauma, is depression one of the symptoms of trauma? I mean, how are depression and trauma linked with each other?
So yes, again, it's a very individualized thing. Not every trauma or not every depression client has some deep-rooted trauma, right? But yes, trauma does give rise to depression. So again, depression, how would you define it? Is something, you know, you extreme period of sadness, lowness, you know, you experience a lot of negative emotions for a long period of time, and which interferes with your everyday life and your daily routine.
Okay.
You know, आपको डेली छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में भी, you know, you experience that, you know, चिड़चिड़ाहट, गुस्सा, negative, sadness, crying, unhappiness. So when it interferes with your daily life for a long period of time, that is when you first need to go and get a clinically diagnosed. Because, you know, now it's such a loose term. Oh, I'm feeling depressed. Oh, I'm feeling sad.
Correct.
Social media पे कहीं पढ़ लिया articles, but no, it is not necessary. You know, it could be temporary phase also. So please refrain yourself from labeling that, you know, I am depressed. मुझे depression हो गया है. You know, clients just walk in, you know, मुझे depression है. How do you know it's a depression? Did any clinical psychologist, any psychiatrist give you any, मतलब, you know, diagnosis को कि आपको depression है? It has to be clinically diagnosed. Without that, please do not, you know, label yourself, you know, social media से देख के, डॉक्टर गूगल से देख के, वो मुझे डिप्रेशन है. नो, नॉट नेसेसरी. इट कुड बी समथिंग गोइंग ऑन इन योर लाइफ, एंड यू नो, आप थोड़े उससे अफेक्टेड हो गए, एंड यू नो, यू आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग सर्टेन सिम्टम्स, एंड दैट कैन गो अवे. If your coping mechanism is good, if your support system is good, if you are like, you know, आप mentally sane हो, you know that, you know, you are able to cope with the challenge, you will be able to come out of it. But अगर वो काफी लंबे पीरियड तक चल रहा है, that is when, you know, you need to think that, okay, you know, some, because now there is one of the type of depression known as seasonal depression. You know, certain seasons में a person feels depressed. For example, I would talk about myself, winters. I do not like winters because I cannot tolerate that, you know, chill or cold. So of course in Hong Kong, winters, I mean, people would find it funny, but for me that 10 degree, 9 degree also feel like, you know, it's snowing outside. So I don't go out of my room. मैं कहीं नहीं जाती हूँ, full day I'm sitting in my room, वो blanket लेके I'm reading a book, or I'm just, you know, literally looking outside my window. And even my husband like, चलो walk पे जाते हैं. I'm like, नहीं बहुत ठंडी है, नीचे नहीं उतरना है. And I'm like, shit, ये winters कब जाएगा? You know, I am done with this. I literally wait for Feb and March that winter should subside and I can, you know, go out and enjoy. So I feel very different during those winter period of in Hong Kong. And other months I am like perfectly fine. So sometimes I feel, do I have this seasonal depression? I'm like, I don't want to label myself. Probably, you know, I am not able to handle that thing. So of course it depends from person to person. Again, some people love, you know, they wait for winters. Winter is the best time of the year. You know, they enjoy. But some, I cannot, because staying in Mumbai and all, kabhi यहाँ पे ठंड नहीं गिरी है, तो know that weather is very extreme for me to, you know, tolerate. It depends from person to person again.
I think you're right. Seasonal depression is a thing because if you
No,
talk
it
to a
is
lot of
there. It is a time for
Europeans,
depression. It is.
because yeah, I mean, when you talk to Europeans, you talk to people who live in like very cold weathers, they're like, ठंड आते ही they're like, it's very depressing, it's very grey, it's very depressing, and the only thing they talk about is actually बहुत ठंड है बाहर, हमें अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है.
Exactly.
But हाँ, you are also right. जैसे मेरे को ठंड बहुत पसंद है, so हाँ मतलब मेरे को लगता है समर्स में डिप्रेशन आ जाता है शायद, बट विंटर्स आई रियली लव. हाँ, in terms of, you know, when we were talking about depression, so you said it needs to be clinically diagnosed.
Yes.
Right? So depression as a, you know, psychologist, what would you say, how does depression, if a person comes to you, when would you say, okay, this person is depressed?
So like
What are
I
the
said,
symptoms?
yes, based on the symptoms, and of course I would always prefer that, the client gets diagnosed by a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist. Me being a counseling psychologist would want to refrain from, unnecessarily diagnosing and labeling the client.
Okay.
So if they really want that, एक बार वो clinical diagnosis हो जाता है, it is more helpful because, you know that, okay, it is a case of depression, and then you can follow the protocol of, whatever it is to heal that person, to get that person out of it. But self-labeling unnecessary, diagnosing the clients, I do not do that. अगर मुझे पता भी है, so I don't, वो दिमाग में नहीं डालना है कि वो आपको डिप्रेशन ही है, then वो ज़्यादा overthink, oh, I'm a patient of depression, I'm a client of depression. So I try to refrain from any labeling or any diagnosis unless the client has already come in with a referral that, I have visited a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist and this is my diagnosis. Yes.
Interesting. And you know, you mentioned when we were discussing about PTSD, you actually talked about childhood and, you know, कैसे जो बच्चे देखते हैं कि घर में अगर कुछ गलत हो रहा है तो उनको भी they go through, you know, these symptoms. तो typically मतलब what I'm trying to say is बच्चों को भी, do they go through trauma, and do they also, can they go through trauma, and can they also go through PTSD?
Depends again what incidences the person has experienced it, right? Sometimes see kids are very bubbly, very lively, तो उनके लिए matter नहीं करता है, उन्होंने देखा, they get on with their life. But again in the adulthood life, if when you're taking case history and when they're able to describe, narrate, that is when you have to understand that yes, it has affected. Because बच्चे ने देखा तो like parents beating the child black and blue, मार्क्स के ऊपर ले लो या परफॉर्मेंस ले लो कि तुमने टेस्ट में परफॉर्म नहीं किया है, तो वो प्रेशर भी जो आता है, दैट परफॉर्मेंस प्रेशर, it does affect the child in the adult life, that वो performance pressure, again then you see that stress management नहीं होता है because पहले से ही वो stress दिया हुआ है that you have to excel, so it does affect. So that's why healthy parenting, positive parenting, that communication between a parent and child is very very important, that what kind of parenting you are giving to your child.
I mean very interesting when you said that हो सकता है शायद वो बचपन में ना दिखे जो
As
उन्होंने
in
देखा है, but
100%
adulthood
it
में
will be
दिखेगा.
there, it will be there. I can literally bet my life on this, that if a child has been an observer of trauma, whatever violence in the house, आगे जाके वो बाहर आएगा ही, because subconscious mind ने वो चीज़ absorb कर ली है, it's a sponge, अंदर तो आ चुका है, but वो निकालेगा तो कहीं ना कहीं तो आगे जाके तब squeeze करोगे ही उसको.
एंड ट्रॉमा का मतलब किस किस चीज़ों में इम्पैक्ट आ सकता है लाइफ में एज यू गो थ्रू योर लाइफ, तो कौन कौन से एस्पेक्ट्स हैं लाइफ के जहाँ मतलब दिखता है कि अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हो गया है बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रॉमेटिक एक्सपीरियंसेस?
So basically trauma affects your physical, emotional, mental and behavioral aspects of life. Okay. So physical would include headache, increased BP, obesity, these areas. Then you're on the emotional level, it can affect your mood and your emotions, that you're constantly irritated, negative emotions, चिड़चिड़ाहट होना, right? Then on the behavioral aspect, you are like very control freak, but हर चीज़ आपको control करें, because वो आपके अंदर एक fear है ना, that अगर ये फिर से हो गया तो. So correct. This is on the behavioral level, and of course on social level you would say लोगों से बातें नहीं करना, cut off कर देना. So it impacts your overall thing, your overall life, your physical, mental and emotional aspects of you. So it is not only one thing that trauma खाली यहाँ पे affect कर रहा है. Deep down it does impact your overall well-being.
And I mean, when you said social, can it also impact relationships of a person?
Absolutely. You would see that if a person has been a victim of abuse, अब आगे जाके देखोगे that they face challenges in marriage because उसने देखा है that let's take an example of this only, that violence देखा हुआ है या देखा हुआ है that so constantly you are on like वो alert रहते हैं, you are like with your husband, आपके साथ वो you become that control freak that ऐसा नहीं करना, मत करना. सो ना वो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी वो मिडवे आता ही नहीं, बिकॉज आपको लगता है इफ अगर ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो इट विल बी रिपीटेड, मैं भी सेम गो थ्रू करूँगी जो मेरी मदर ने देखा हुआ है, एंड देन इट स्टार्ट्स इम्पैक्टिंग योर ओन रिलेशनशिप. सो इट डेफिनेटली अफेक्ट्स योर प्रेजेंट.
एंड आई मीन अगर किसी के साथ ट्रॉमेटिक एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है तो आसपास वाले लोग क्या कर सकते हैं टू मेक द सिचुएशन बेटर, या जिसके साथ हुआ है उसको कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं कि वो इस एक्सपीरियंस से बाहर आए?
सी इफ the partner or the people around you are aware that this person has gone through trauma, so of course referring to a therapist would be the ideal and the best way, because every individual is not capable of handling a trauma person, right? So it's very important to help them refer to a professional or a therapist, so that the person gets proper help, professional help is required for them to work on their trauma. And simultaneously important would be at least providing good support which does not have any judgments, any labeling, you deserve, because कभी कभार गुस्से में हम बोल देते थे तो डिजर्व ही करती है, ऐसा तेरे साथ ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. It's very loose statement, but you do not know what impact it has on that person, because आप उनको फिर से you're trying to make them feel that you are responsible, you deserve this, right? So that support system is very important. So of course इसमें partner की intelligence, partner का knowledgeable होना, to be equipped with at least certain information on how to handle is very very important. So transparency हो सकता है, communication हो सकता है, how you handle your partner. So of course I know my husband also has been very patient with me, because like I told I have also gone through certain traumatic incidences in my life, and I could see that I used to be very irritable with my husband. So he has always been very calm, because initially my anger was, I would say, बहुत मुझे गुस्सा आता था, like I used to get very angry, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों पे बात नहीं करना, not talking for 3 days, because I wanted that attention, validation के मुझे मनाओ, मुझे ये करो, and he has done all of it, so that my mental health is good. Of course उस time पे mental health का उनको पता नहीं था, but that my well-being, my happiness was a priority for him. And slowly I realized that I am carrying my baggage, and I'm dumping in this relation which is not required. The past is done, I cannot go and undo or fix anything. So it's not that I have also taken therapy for myself. I have like done a lot of courses that can help me heal myself, because I was very clear that I am not repeating what I have gone through. I do not want that baggage in my present life. So of course, like even about my parenting, I told you, I realized that I am trying to be the parent what my parent has been with me. So I was repeating that cycle. Of course, it still happens, I'm not denying, but I'm more conscious and more alert now, very mindful, I would say that before talking something, before using, but of course वो हो जाता है situation में. But yes, being mindful, being alert, being aware is going to really help you prevent the next mistake you make.
I mean, when you talked about your own relationship and your own past baggages that you have, so आपको कैसे realize हुआ कि हाँ maybe whatever I'm doing is not right, and ये probably कुछ हुआ है मेरे साथ पहले, या past के baggages हैं मेरे जिसकी वजह से impact हो रहा है, तो how did you realize that?
So basically I went into therapy in 9th standard itself in my school. So my teachers were very very supportive. They saw that whatever is happening, she needs help. So we had school psychiatrist and all, उस time पे visiting आते थे. So I sought therapy that time only, and I remembered from a person who was failing till 8th standard. अगर आप मेरे report cards देखोगे, there were red lines in my report. And suddenly in 10th standard I came first in my prelims.
Wow.
In ICSE. So there was a remarkable difference in me, because I realized that it's my journey. I have to do my work. I cannot be blaming कि इसने ये किया, उसने वो किया. I cannot be hampering my life. And that is when I had decided that be anything, I am going to become a psychologist. Of course, साइंस और मैथ्स में तो इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं था, तो मुझे साइकेट्रिस्ट तो दैट वाज आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन. सो आई वाज वेरी क्लियर दैट आगे जाके कुछ भी हो, आई एम गोइंग टू बिकम अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट. आई वांट टू बिकम अ मेंटल हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल, बिकॉज आई नो मेरी तरह और कई बच्चे हो गए who do not have any platform, any support system to know to seek help. And they are literally, वो baggage उनके साथ ही चल रहा है. Luckily, I had my teachers, you know, who were there to support me, and you know, they were like, you know, you need help. But I don't know, आज के time पे ऐसे teachers exist करते हैं कि I don't know. So I am really grateful. मतलब till today I am in touch with my teachers. Not a single teacher days goes, you know, where I have not wished my teacher or not expressed my gratitude, because I owe my life, my career to them. If they wouldn't have been here, I don't know where would I have been in my life. So I'm very grateful to them that they literally gave me that support. So it was very clear that I am going to become a psychologist. So after my TY, just 1 week after my TY, I got married. But then I was very clear कि मुझे करना है. तो again, you know, God is kind, you know, to you. So my in-laws were very supportive that no, you know, you want to pursue your masters, you do. So after my marriage, I was attending college for 2 years. I remember my mother-in-law, you know, making tiffin for, because cooking तो इतनी आती नहीं थी, तो she used to make tiffin for me. My husband, we both used to live together. वो office जाते थे, I used to go college. And you know, with all the support system, I was able to complete my masters. I worked after my masters, and you know, all whatever challenges life has thrown to me, because as you spoke about PTSD, you know, that growth, I have seen that, you know, that trauma, that stress has actually helped me evolve and grow as a person. Those setbacks helped me literally, you know, carve my career and, you know, be what I want to do today.
You are a perfect example of PTSD, I guess.
Thank you.
So even if, you know, something traumatic happened with you, you actually converted that into a growth opportunity for yourself. You overcame that, and you know, you are a perfect example for all of us. That traumatic experiences should not really hold you back, but you know, they can actually be enabler for you
Absolutely.
to grow into
Absolutely.
much better person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, I have a few questions which I would like to ask you.
Okay.
The first question is, you know, one of the viewers, they asked, I am more sad after being aware of my emotions, and I was better off when I was ignorant of these emotions. So, what's your take on this?
Again, I think both the sides are good, right? If you're not aware, it's okay, right? But if you think that without being aware, something is bothering you, then it's important to identify what is, you know, causing, what is the cause of this botheration. तो वो आपको कभी ना कहीं तो अनकवर करना ही होगा. Till when you will say ignorance is a bliss, right? When it comes to mental health, not to certain extent, ignorance is not a bliss, because it's not helping you get out of whatever issues you are experiencing. So it's important to uncover that ignorance, right? So initially, of course, when somebody उनको awareness हो जाता है, you know that something मतलब ये इसकी वजह से हुआ है, so it does impact you, right? Like, of course, if somebody has shared like one of my clients, you know, when initially started writing letters, so I remember that, you know, after first letter only, you know, he's calling me that मतलब मेरा सर फट रहा है. He was in such a bad shape, and I think for 3-4 days he got fever, and you know, he couldn't get up from the bed also, vomiting hona. So he experienced this physical symptoms because mind ready nahi tha na to come out of that discomfort. So I told him that, you know, you listen to your body. I'm not going to say that, you know, भले सर फट रहा है, vomit हो रही है, आप लिखो. You take your time, you know, once you're okay, again make an attempt. Then observe, is your body again reacting in the same way? But because he was very, उनको इतना पता था that ये letter writing, because मैंने journaling start किया है, तो मुझे ये हो रहा है. So after 3-4 days when he was okay, he again asked me, should I write? I'm like, don't take my permission. You ask yourself. You are mentally ready, because when you are ready, the physical body will have to align with your mental mind, with your mind, with your mindset. So that is when he's like, okay. And then I told you that he's the same client who's written 60+ letters so far, and he still wants to write more. I said, do it. The first initial was like very, it's like a volcano, you know, वो फटके पूरा आ रहा है, but then that lava will cool down eventually. It cannot stay like that forever.
हाँ, सो बेसिकली जब तक इग्नोरेंट हैं एंड आप खुश हैं तो वेल एंड गुड, बट हाँ जिस दिन वो बॉदर करने लगे
Absolutely.
सो मे बी वो लावा की तरह फटे, मे बी हो सकता है वो आराम से बाहर आए, बट या इफ इट कम्स लाइक अ लावा इट डज कूल डाउन आफ्टर अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. Then there's another question. I have addiction to sadness and it feels like I'm stuck with it. What
Okay.
should I do?
Okay, this is very interesting, right? I feel in this kind of cases, the client has, or the person has, you know, a deep rooted insecurity, and you know, they have a feeling that, you know, I don't deserve to be happy. मैं ये खुशी deserve नहीं करती हूँ. And you know, that is why they are perpetually in that cycle of unhappiness. That you know, the more unhappy I am, you know, वो अपने guilt को, अपने इसको, it is, you know, adding like a motivation कि, you know, नहीं, you don't deserve happiness ना, तुम्हें खुश नहीं रहना है, तो अच्छा है तुम और दुखी रहो. You know, you constantly be in that cycle of unhappiness. Because that person who's gone through guilt, shaming, and you know, whatever insecurity they have experienced from whatever incidences they have gone through in life, so वो एक माइंडसेट हो जाता है दैट मैं ये खुशी डिजर्व ही नहीं करती. So even if everything is going well in your life, you don't want to be happy. You are constantly complaining, you're blaming others. You know, इसकी वजह से you know ऐसा हुआ है, मुझे खुशी नहीं रहना है. So you don't want to take the onus कि यार इससे तुम बाहर आ सकते हो. But वो mindset आपका बन जाता है that I don't deserve. So you know, they want to punish themselves. You know, the more I punish myself, मतलब you know वो मेरा guilt थोड़ा शायद कम हो सकता है. So that punishment is to be sad.
But I mean, in this case, the person, I think now they're aware that they're addicted to sadness, right?
I don't think so. They are aware. I don't know. I personally उनको awareness ही नहीं होती है. Because it's like you know मैंने कुछ गलत किया है, मैं punishment deserve करता हूँ, तो मुझे sad रहना है. मतलब उनको वो awareness नहीं है that they are addicted to that sadness. Because उन्होंने happiness enjoy करना ही बंद कर दिया है.
And अगर किसी को awareness नहीं है इस चीज़ की, right? So as you know, a well-wisher or a friend or a family, can you do something about it to make them aware about it and make them feel better?
See, again, आपका connection कैसा है, you know, you can try to do small things and you know put small efforts and see you know whether that person is accepting and how is that person reacting to your small gestures. Gifts हो, you know, बाहर ले जाना हो, holiday पे हो, you know, buying something, you know, doing something that will like make that person go के चलो आज खाना मैंने बना लिया, probably अगर spouse involved है तो, and then see that you know how is that person reacting. तो अगर इन छोटे छोटे efforts से that person is feeling happy, then you know probably discuss that you know do you want to come out of this cycle or you know you want to continue being this. And of course again professional help is there, you know, healing yourself, you know, self work, a lot of things are there. But again, ultimately things boil down to whether the person is willing or not. If that willingness, readiness nahi hoga, whatever efforts you put is not going to be helpful.
Okay. Then you know we talked about trauma in length, and you know basically we want to understand what exactly are trauma triggers.
Okay.
And how do someone know that they are triggered by something?
Okay, so trauma triggers are basically a very strong emotional and behavioral responses that comes over you. So you just feel that you know you're reliving that incident again. So like I told you previously, it could be anything in the environment, any stimulus which is perceived through your five senses. कोई चीज़ सुन ली, किसी की आवाज़, कोई particular song, कोई particular tune that can make you relive that trauma. You see something, आप वो जगह पे जाते हो, कोई person को देख लिया, you relive your trauma. Sometimes even the scent, you know, a particular smell can trigger your trauma. So whatever information, whatever your five senses can perceive can be a trauma trigger for you. So it can be very individualized, very very individualized. Because वो person को पता है ना कि किस चीज़ से मैं affect और trigger ज़्यादा होती हूँ.
And
And then even loosely also we use the term, oh, I'm getting triggered, you know, मुझे बहुत trigger हो रहा है.
yeah.
So it's very important that you understand the importance of the word trigger. You know, people just say I'm getting gaslighted, but do you know the meaning of gaslighting and trigger? So without any proper contextual awareness, refrain from using such terms. Only if you're 100% aware, try to use it. Because it has a very deep meaning. मतलब आप बोलो I'm getting triggered. Trigger is something very intense. So is it really a trigger or आप खाली affect हो रहे हो in that temporary moment?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We actually very loosely use these terms. I'm depressed, I am triggered, I am gaslit. So हाँ बहुत ही loosely use करते हैं, but it has a lot of depth in it. And when it comes to trigger, so is it like मेरे को पहली बारी किसी चीज़ से अजीब लग रहा है उसको मैं ट्रिगर कहूँगी, या फिर इट्स अ persistent थिंग कि मतलब एक मेरे को परफ्यूम की स्मेल से बार बार whenever I come across that smell I feel maybe dizzy or I feel a headache, then I call it a trigger, or it's like मेरे को एक दो बारी ही लगा तो I'm like okay I'm getting triggered.
It has to be persistent, right? Because कभी कभार आप ऐसे ही uncomfortable हो जाते हो with, because sometimes people are कहते हैं allergic होते हैं to certain chemicals. Of course अगर आप smell की बात कर रहे हो तो specifically I would take that example. So it is not always the case. If it has been happening regularly, that is when you need to would have like inner reflection, that is it something genuinely the perfume or something is affecting me. Because perfume तो हर जन लगाते हैं, तो अगर affect होना है तो everybody around me should be affected with that same smell, right? Why is it only me who's getting affected?
Okay. And I mean if I identify my triggers, जैसे मेरे को किसी particular चीज़ों से uneasy feel हो रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा और बार बार हो रहा है, तो what should I do about these triggers?
So here you need to understand one thing: what exactly is going to be in your control. What is it something you can do in your control? So in your control it would be my words, my actions, my thoughts. तो ये सारी चीज़ें मैं कंट्रोल कर, अगर सामने वाला उसमें इन्वॉल्व है, सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर दैट आई कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट, मतलब मैं उसको उठा के नहीं, हाँ अगर आपके पावर में है दैट आप उसको हटा सकते हो, देन वेल एंड गुड, एंड देन अगेन ऑब्जर्व दैट वो चीज़ हटाने के बाद भी आई एम गेटिंग ट्रिगर्ड और आई एम डूइंग ओके. इफ आई एम डूइंग ओके दैट मीन्स ओके वो चीज़ को मैंने हटा दिया मेरे सामने से. बट इफ नॉट, देन अगेन यू हैव टू डू अ लॉट ऑफ अगेन इनर वर्क. व्हाट इज इट? अगर ये चीज़ हटाने के बाद भी आई एम गेटिंग अफेक्टेड स्टिल, देन समथिंग मोर इज येट टू like worked on.
Okay, so basically it's a signal for me to see more कि क्या है.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then there was another question. I haven't cried in ages. I don't even know how to cry. How should I cry?
Oh wow. Interesting question. So again, crying. What do you mean by, मतलब crying ऐसा है that it's an immediate reaction to sadness, pain, or something negative. मतलब not negative I would say, but कुछ भी ऐसा बुरा भला होता है तो वो immediate reaction है. Even of course खुशी में भी sometimes people cry, कोई अच्छी चीज होती है तो that is that power of crying. Or when you say people have not cried, so there could be medical reasons also that dry eyes है. एक Sjogren करके there is a term that where your immune system is attacked, जिसकी वजह से आपकी बॉडी में हार्मोन्स वगैरह जो ये होते हैं, इट इज नॉट हैपनिंग, ड्यू टू विच यू आर नॉट एबल टू क्राई, आपके टीयर्स ही नहीं बनते हैं. सो दैट इज अ मेडिकल कंडीशन. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इफ यू वुड गो टू सी द साइकोलॉजिकल रीजंस और द मेंटल हेल्थ थिंग, इट वुड ऑफ कोर्स पीपल हु हैव सप्रेस्ड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट उनको रोना ही नहीं है, बिकॉज दे हैव सप्रेस्ड दोज इमोशंस. तो इट्स लाइक नहीं रोना है. Then of course you would have a society and culture playing a role where men are not supposed to cry, masculine मतलब if a boy is crying, क्या लड़कियों की तरह रो रहा है. So it's like crying is attached to a gender. कि only a female, a girl or a woman is only supposed to cry. Men cannot cry. Men are supposed to be that very macho and very strong personality. तो उन्हें कभी रोना नहीं है. So that gender plays into role. Society plays a role when it comes to crying or not crying.
हाँ, but crying को बहुत ही वैसे लिया जाता है ना कि you are weak if you cry.
Yes. absolutely. That is one more thing. You know,
क्योंकि
you're
जब
shamed also at times, you know, from crying. कह रहे मतलब और इसने रो दिया, अरे रोती है, ये तो रोतड़ा है, ऐसा है, so no, that person gets कह रहे what to do. And you know, they attach that thing that, oh, if I cry, people will make more fun of me, I'll be shamed. Better है नहीं रोना है. They keep on suppressing inside.
And what should this person do who's not able to cry? I mean, they've tried crying.
So okay, so I think first thing would be to understand your emotions, explore the emotions, right? कभी मतलब कुछ sad चीज हो रही है तो why am I not feeling, or if I'm feeling, what are the emotions I am feeling? So that emotional awareness is very important. After that, I would say get comfortable with your emotions. So you know, here I would suggest that, you know, try to label and, you know, say loudly that I am feeling this, that I am feeling is very important, because you know you are acknowledging that, you know, I am experiencing, because till now वो आता ही नहीं था, because you don't experience anything. So try to, you know, get that comfort with your emotions. अगर कुछ feel कर रहा है तो उसको acknowledge करो and say it loudly that, you know, I am feeling this, you know, I am feeling angry, I am feeling upset, I am feeling happy. Whatever emotions you're experiencing, so that get comfortable with your emotions. Then, you know, followed by try to find a safe space. You know, आपका bedroom है. Sometimes, you know, people want to cry in a alone place, you know, where nobody sees you. तो bathroom हो गया, bedroom हो गया, going to a park, you know, connecting with nature. So, you know, where you feel that it's just you and nobody else around you. So, you know, visit such, go to such places, you know, where you have that absolute silence and, you know, that environment to be yourself, to be most vulnerable. Then, you know, probably you can try crying over there, you know, probably just experiencing that emotion, you know, that can help you feel that. You know, probably after that, you know, you can even try watching emotional movies, sad movies, you know, certain documentaries, you know, where other people's experiences can move you, can affect you, right? Because जो इमोशनल था उनको तो लाइक देखते ही रोना आ जाता है. You see something, कुछ वॉर का देख लो, anything you see, you start crying.
Correct.
So, you know, try to watch those kind of, you know, some visuals, you know, that can move something within you. You know, that can change that emotional pattern you're experiencing inside you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, when you said, you know, probably they should try to look for a safe space,
Yes.
wherein probably they're not just a place where, you know, they're alone in nature, wherein they can be themselves, they can actually open up with themselves, they can say things. Second thing that you said was about really saying that feeling. I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad. I think
Acknowledging is very important.
Yeah, because I think a lot
Because
of
that
us
helps you get in tune with yourself, right? You are aware what you're feeling, what you're experiencing.
correct.
So emotional connection is very important with your own self.
And third, watching movies, emotional movies, or something that actually moves you. That's interesting. Then, you know, a lot of trauma patients, they also have this thing that they don't develop self-compassion, right? So how can someone develop self-compassion? And, you know, they might be like, you know, I hate myself for this happening to me, and this, how could I have been so stupid that this happened? How could I not see this coming? So how can a person go through with these feelings and heal themselves?
Okay. So self-compassion basically is what? That, you know, how you relate to your own self. आपका relation आपके खुद के साथ कैसा है is what encompasses self-compassion, right?
Okay.
So it's all about, you know, you being more gentle, more kind and more calm to your own self is what is self-compassion, right? So here it is like, you know, आपके friend ने, you're just trying to call up your friend, right? And that person is not answering. So you're not going to, like, you know, just cut off all connection. आप जज नहीं करोगे, नो इसको मुझसे बात नहीं करनी, इसी नहीं उठा रही, you give it a time, you know, probably वो busy होगा, you know, he's not available or something. So same way, when you are making a mistake or when you do something wrong, how compassionate are you with yourself plays a major role. That, you know, you just beat yourself कह रहे हो मैं तो ऐसी ही हूँ, मैं गलती ही करती रहती हूँ, मेरे से ऐसा ही होता है, और, you know, you're being calm and, you know, very kind to us. ठीक है, you know, हो गया, let me give one more chance to myself, you know. Probably, you know, I will be able to do it better next time. अगर गलती हुई है तो ठीक है, no, I can undo, मतलब not undo, but you know, what can I do to fix this? Or how can I avoid or prevent this happening from next time? So this is where self-compassion plays a role.
And how can someone develop self-compassion?
So how can you develop? So again, first thing is treat yourself as you treat your friend, like I told you. कि अगर हम दूसरे को जज नहीं करते, when we are giving chances to people around us, or you know, people in your life, your friends, your family, so that thing first should be practiced with your own self, that we are not punishing ourselves, you know, we are being kind, we are not judging ourselves. That is first thing, that absence of judgment, or you know, try to be minimal, जितना आप judgment minimal कर सकते हो would be great, because that will help you, motivate you to perform better the next time. But if you are judging or if you're beating yourself, you're going to pull yourself down. तो आपका motivation, आपका confidence, your self esteem all goes for a toss. तो self compassion तो बहुत दूर रह गया. Other areas of your life are also impacted, right? Then self acceptance is very important, that this is me in this moment, here and now, and this is what I am, right? You don't try to compare yourself, you know, I have to be like that. Of course motivation लो, inspiration लो, but उसमें अगर आप अपने आप को ही you are beating yourself, it's not going to help. So that acceptance is very important, to accept yourself the way you are in this moment or in this current situation. And of course avoidance of comparison as much as you can, that I'm not comparing myself. Inspiration लो, उनसे सीखो, but 100% उनकी तरह बनना है, replication is not going to help you, because you are going to lose your individual identity in that, right? आप अपने आप को खो रहे हो. So try to work on these lines.
But जैसे इंडिया में typically, you know, बचपन से वैसा होता है कि पेरेंट्स जाने अनजाने में, you know, they compare you with other kids, उसका बेटा ऐसा, उसकी बेटी ऐसी, and you know, you somewhere compete with the kids, right? So I mean, how can you undo that thing, that you are actually not competing with everyone, and you're also compassionate towards yourself, and probably you're not judging yourself, because I think judgment is also something, self judgment is a big thing.
It comes very naturally and very automatically. I feel it's a complementary thing, you know, you start judging yourself, but again it comes with a lot of, you know, self help, you know, educating, awareness, that आप वो cycle में हो of comparison, and now you know you want to literally detach yourself. So that detachment is very essential in every situation, not only of comparison. I always, you know, I have been literally on a journey at this point of practicing detachment in every aspect, because I recently relocated to India in June from Hong Kong. So it was a major move for me also, that you know, so after coming here, of course initial वो था that you know, living a life over there, like you know, with all the whatever comforts we have in, of course, India और बाहर में बहुत difference है. So, and again with every aspect, so I have been practicing a lot of detachment in every aspects, be it place, be it, you know, relationships, and everything. Like अगर आप relationship बोलो, so like you know, वो एक, I was so dependent on my husband for every small and big thing. So now I'm focusing on detachment, that you know, no, he's there, that's important, but वो dependency के, he has to be there for me, or he has to pick my call. Of course in office it's not possible, and of course at the end of the day it's not that वहाँ पे था that you know, we used to go for walks, we used to talk out everything, यार पूरे दिन में क्या हुआ. Now that all is missing because time difference है, we don't get time. So I'm practicing a lot of detachment and dependency. Even with kids, वो तो since the start, you know, me and my husband have been practicing that, you know, parenting with detachment. कि आप parenting करो बच्चों की, but उसमें एकदम घुस मत जाओ, that you know, you lose your own self and your own life. Because when you see, you know, now there have been families, you know, who experience toxic in-laws. Why? Because the mother-in-law, the father, the parent have a very toxic attachment with the son. So when the son is entering into a new relationship, his marriage, the parents cannot detach themselves, right? So you know, then they try to control आ जाता है, insecurity, jealousy, and then you see, you know, family issues, and then families, you know, separating के, they want to move out, साथ में नहीं रहना, and whatever. Why? Because आप अपने आप को detach नहीं कर पा रहे हो ना अपने बच्चे की जिंदगी से. So practicing detachment is very important. And I constantly remind myself every day that I have to detach. अगर कोई एक person से मेरी बात हो रही है, if it is affecting, detach myself and surrender. That just surrender to the higher authority. He will take care of it. It does make me feel miserable at times, like I am at my wit's end. I am crying that ये ऐसा क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Things are not happening the way I want it to be. But then I'm like, breathe and surrender. Let that higher authority take care of it. There is a universal energy around, who is going to look after me. So I'm surrendering myself.
And when you said detachment and parenting and detachment, so how exactly did you do that? How, क्योंकि बहुत ही मुश्किल है राइट अपने बच्चे से डिटैच वाली फीलिंग लाना भी. So what are you doing to make sure that you are mentally a little detached from your kids?
Correct. So first let's understand that हमें attachment क्यों होती है बच्चे से. Love तो है, connection है, and somewhere we feel that the child is not capable enough, right? तो हमें लगता है कि I have to be there for my child, like a guard around him. So that is where the first thing comes is try to make your child as independent as you can by life skills, education and skill building. So if you were to take my son, he's 10 now, but he was traveling alone in Hong Kong at the age of 7. We had taught him that you have to go from place A to place B. So पहले start हुआ that we allowed him to go to the park where it involved crossing. Right, so of course first 2 days I went and I taught him that this is how we are supposed to cross के signal देखना है ऐसे cross करके, this is your park. So that thing got comfortable. Then I asked him, then I have to send him for grocery. Of course, as I cannot go, but I wanted him to learn. So grocery shopping sikhaya. Then slowly we asked him to go till the station, and then we taught him how to travel in the city. So you try to build the child's confidence by giving him that required, adequate, age-appropriate freedom and skill building. Even at home, I've taught my son how to peel vegetables, cutting basic ho gaya, knead the dough for flour. If I'm baking, he's always next to me. So he's like you do this today. He can bake at least the basic breakfast apna he can make if I am not there. So I like that way. So when you're doing all these things, you know that I don't have to worry about my child. He can manage. वो manage कर लेगा. So I remember one of the incidences, me and my husband had planned that हमें किसी का invitation था, and we just 2 of us were invited. So of course I was little concerned because वो रात के time पे जाना था. So I had a spare phone at home. I had kept that phone at home. I had cooked the dinner and I had told my son because my daughter was also there along with him. Okay. So looking after himself plus my daughter who was just 3 or 4 at that time. So I had left them, both of them alone, and I was like that, you have to heat the food. So I taught him how to turn on the gas. I was very scared also because safety is a priority here. So I was on video call with him. Then he's like, Mama, see, मैंने gas on कर दिया, मैंने खाना गरम कर दिया. उसने पूरा like how we eat, like वो mat वैट बिछा के, getting the plates, everything he did. He changed my daughter's clothes and then he put her to bed. And he was like, updating me on the video call, Mama, this is done, Mama, that is done. So, I was also like very relaxed. Of course, one part of me was very anxious. But I felt that, this is how the more you train your child, kids to be independent and all, you can be more relaxed because, your kids can manage. This is where half the mothers and fathers are anxious that, वो नहीं कर पाएगा खुद का because आपने कभी उसको सिखाया ही नहीं, कभी opportunity नहीं दी to do their work. And of course, detachment is here. When you talk about detachment in parenting, it is you just have to understand one thing that God has chosen you as a medium to give them birth. तो आपका role क्या है in this journey as a parent? This is what you should be reflecting. Do you owe the child? Are they a property? No, they are not. Your role is that you gave them birth. You give them good education, good values, and it's like a plant. आप पूरे दिन plant के सामने बैठते नहीं हो. आप उसमें water डालते हो. You nurturing. Rest the plant is going on. वो bloom हो रहा है अपने on its own with your minimal care and whatever you're doing. So this is equally is parenting of a child. And as a parent, you have to understand आपके roles क्या है. आपको घुस नहीं जाना है उसकी life में. यू बी देयर एज अ एडवाइजर, एक गाइडिंग आप हो बच्चे के लिए, आप गाइड कर रहे हो. Apart from that, do not complicate their life by constantly being there around, poking your nose, हर चीज करना है. No. This is what I do. Like, of course, my son is अभी exams होती है. I'm like, you want to study? You don't want to study? आप देख लेना. I am not responsible. I constantly tell these statements. I am not responsible. Because this is what happens. So if the child is failing, mother takes, मेरी वजह से फेल हो रहा है, मैंने नहीं पढ़ाया. बिकॉज स्कूल तो बोल देगी आप ध्यान दो बच्चे पे. इट इज नॉट आवर थिंग. हम बच्चे में वो कल्टिवेट कर सकते हैं, वो डिसिप्लिन, वो हैबिट. बट इफ ही डजंट वांट टू डू, लेट हिम फेल. एक बार फेल होगा, when he will experience that shame, embarrassment, I'm sure it will teach him a lesson that, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because parents तो रिमाइंडर दे रहे थे घर पे, मम्मा तो बोल रही थी पढ़ने के लिए. I am the one who is not studying. So always constantly remind, I am not responsible. You're responsible for what? You should be very well aware that हर चीज में आपको नहीं लेना है that on you that because of me things have gone wrong.
हाँ, because I think as Indian parents we are usually too much into our kids' life and वो वैसा रहता है, हम responsibility ले लेते हैं. So मतलब maybe वो प्यार से आता है काफ़ी पेरेंट्स में कि हम इतना प्यार करते हैं अपने बच्चे को कि हम सब कर देंगे उनके लिए.
Obsession and worry, both of these play a very major role. That we get obsessed with our child, and especially when couples have only single child, वो ज़्यादा होता है because वो मेरा एक लौता बच्चा है. So वो ज़्यादा हो जाता है, and then you constantly worry about what you even don't know what's going to happen after 1 hour. तो आप कौन से फ्यूचर की वरी अभी से बच्चे पे डाल रहे हो कि तो आगे जाके क्या करेगा, बड़ा होके क्या करेगा.
Correct. One interesting thing would be to know, does trauma appear differently in men and women? So does gender play a role when it comes to trauma?
Yes, 100% it does. Gender plays a very, very major role in how a person or an individual perceives trauma. But as you see, but again, gender is not the only factor. A lot of other factors are taken into consideration, like PTSD हो गया, the type of traumatic events, के कौन सा type का traumatic event है, something major है, something minor है, and the coping mechanism of a person. All these also play a major role. But as per the statistics, as per the major study, it has been proven that women experience more trauma than men. So gender does, and it is much more higher in women. Of course, अगर आप PTSD की भी statistics देखोगे, so 12% women are higher as compared to men. So gender does play a role in trauma.
So is it because of emotion? I mean, hormones that we have, or the way we are built? Why do women?
That could be one of the factors, but again, like I said, what are the coping mechanisms? Women, your emotional understanding, culture, everything plays a role. Right? When we discuss the crying situations, we learn, we discuss that men are not supposed to cry, so that suppressing that entire identity you have to put in the society plays a major role. And half the time I feel that men don't even know that they've gone through abuses or any kind of trauma, right? Like I know a friend whose mother used to beat the child with the belt, and that child is like, मम्मी तो बचपन में बेल्ट से मारती थी, तो उसके लिए it is not traumatic, even though it should be traumatic, because बेल्ट से मार पड़ना is not something normal. अगर आप मस्ती कर रहे हो, कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, तो आपको बेल्ट से, of course the leather belt does hit hard, but that boy doesn't have any, मतलब उसको he's like we casually talking about it. So but अगर एक I feel अगर कोई कोई women होती, कोई लड़की होती, मुझे बहुत मारा है बेरहमी से, and they feel more emotional about it. So I feel that gender does play a role in that.
And I think men do not really go for a lot of therapies as well as compared to women, right? Because typically it's women who are more open to the idea of going for therapy as compared to men. I don't know, I mean, have you seen a similar?
I think the stigma is around everywhere. Not about just about men, but I think even women refrain from going into therapy. because it's like वो stigma है तो पागल है क्या, you know, why are you seeking help? Of course now things scenario has been changing, but again if you would see from my whatever clients I have had, majority are women. I have hardly, I might have, you know, seen handful of male clients versus a female client. So I think that again, I think social media support groups like whatever, अगर Facebook group, whatever groups I have seen more of, you know, a female or a women being active, and a lot of women groups are only there on Facebook also. Like I always ask my husband, you know, आपने कभी कोई group join? Like I don't see any, you know, dad's group or any men's group on social media. But if you see Facebook पे भर भर के, you know, ladies और फिर female के business के लिए ले लो, mental health ले लो, just a mom's group, we have platforms to discuss. And किसी का पढ़ पढ़ के भी, you know, you get a lot of, you know, motivation मिलता है, कभी boost मिलता है, you know, you get inspired, you know, oh if she is seeking help, I can also do that. And I have never seen a male, you know, asking or acknowledging for help, that, you know, oh I need any help in this. Like when I have during my college, in my class, I just had one male, you know, student apart from all the girls we were in the class. So only one boy was doing psychology, and masters में तो वो of course था ही नहीं, because I was in a girls college. I don't know if, you know, men are even wanting to, you know, study psychology or become a psychologist. खैर अभी तो बहुत coaches and आ गए हैं, but I am talking about my time where I was in a co-ed college. I hardly had any guys, you know, doing psychology also.
Interesting, because I think for men, it's a big topic to be discussed, right?
Absolutely.
Men and therapy, because I think men, I don't know whether it's shame or it's that, you know, we are men, how can we go for therapy?
Absolutely.
But yeah, of course, they go through a lot of traumatic experiences in
true.
life. Doesn't mean कि वो उन
Definitely.
लोगों के साथ कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, सिर्फ women के साथ हो रहा है, but एक openness आना कि it's okay to go to a therapist. It is required for men. Then, you know, in terms of when we are discussing about trauma, so there's one thing called trauma bonding. So क्या ये सच्ची में होता है trauma bonding?
See, trauma bonding and Stockholm syndrome, they are very almost similar. So basically, trauma bonding is what? That you feel एक attachment हो जाती है with the abuser who has given you trauma. So, you know, you start feeling that, you know, उसके ऊपर एक kindness, थोड़ा compassionate आ जाता है, instead of, you know, feeling that, you know, this person is responsible, you feel attached to that person. So typical classic example would be abusive marriage, where the husband is abusing. तो एक दिन आपको आज अगर उसने मारा है तो you will feel angry, but that tomorrow that guy will be all normal and showering love on you, so you'll be like अरे नहीं यार, you know, husband है, कभी गुस्से में कर दिया होगा. And even though this cycle is repeating multiple times, आप एक attached हो जाते हो. So this is a classic example of trauma bonding. You see in relationships, you know, even a child and a parent, that, you know, parent, the father is beating or the mother is beating, but next day you're like, अरे मेरी मम्मी है, मेरे पापा है, you know, that you have that soft corner for that person. But ultimately it is trauma bonding.
And how can someone come out of such a vicious circle? Because I think जब ऐसा कोई रिलेशनशिप है, जैसे अगर हस्बैंड वाइफ है, बहुत ही इंटीमेट रिलेशनशिप है, राइट? मतलब बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें कि मतलब ऑफ कोर्स शादी करते हो तो एक सोसाइटी का भी है कि तुम्हें शादी में रहना है, आप अगर शादी कर रहे हैं तो आपका भी है हमें शादी निभानी है, राइट? सो व्हेन सच थिंग्स हैपन एंड कीप्स ऑन हैपनिंग, हाउ डू यू कम आउट ऑफ इट? हाउ डू यू रियलाइज कि यू नो मेरे को गलत तरीके की बॉन्डिंग हो चुकी है?
So of course, initially that realization, that awareness is important, that, you know, you are getting attached to your abuser. So that is first thing, seeking help. I mean, now तो divorces have been very normal हो चुका है, that, you know, people are, but of course it takes a lot of courage to walk out of that relationship. So setting up boundaries is very important, that you have your boundaries defined. अगर वो बंदा या वो पर्सन आपकी बाउंड्रीज को इन्वेट कर रहा है, consequences should be set. That अगर मार रहा है तो of course, you know, making a police complaint or, you know, walking away is very important, that you cannot allow this to happen. So first thing is setting boundaries, communicating this thing to the person, discussing, seeking help, support system, a lot of things play a very important role in detaching yourself from that trauma bonding. But first is you having the realization that ये गलत हो रहा है और आप गलत को सही बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हो because you are not mentally ready. You know that helplessness कि अरे अगर मैं मैरिज से निकल गई तो where will I go? अगर मैंने पेरेंट्स का घर छोड़ दिया तो where will I go? Who will support me financially? तो that is very important that you should be or you are capable enough. वो एक अपने आप में trust and confidence होना चाहिए. But accepting abuses or accepting that violence is not the way. That saying no is very important. That nobody कुछ भी हो जाए वो respect is very important. That nobody should beat you, touch you, or abuses should not be a part of anything.
Yeah, true. And in terms of treatments or for trauma, what are the different kind of treatments that are available that a person undergoing trauma can seek?
Okay. So initially, psychotherapy is one of the best and the superb ways. And in psychotherapy, also there are a lot of different therapies, that can work with trauma. So it could be CBT, which stands for Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Then there is REBT, that stands for Rationale Emotive Behavior Therapy, which basically works on your thoughts. CBT works basically on your thoughts. So it helps you to restructure your cognition, your thinking process. Like I told you that we try to understand what are the negative thoughts, what are the unhelpful thoughts. Then with the help of REBT, you try to work on the belief system of the client, the irrational beliefs, how it is impacting, how your belief system is basically being a hindrance in your healing journey. So these are the therapeutic ways. And of course, a client with trauma are going to have CBT and anxiety and depression. So they need certain medications if required to cope with their anxiety. So antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicines that can help you calm down your nervous system, which can enable you good sleep, because again, sleep is also affected in certain cases. You're not getting sufficient and good sleep. So when you initially you take certain medications that can really help you. And of course, along with that, psychotherapy, as I told you. So even in psychotherapy, a lot of mindfulness practices like meditation, breathing exercises, because you're very hyper vigilant. You're breathing, you have panic attacks, and you feel breathless certain times. So when you do a lot of breath work, you're slowing down your breathing. You're processing everything. So this really helps. And apart from that, like I told you, journaling is something I personally advocated to anybody. So again, journaling is of different types. One could be thought record, one could be letter writing. So depending on case to case, what your therapist is going to advise you, journaling should be made a part of your daily life. Practicing gratitude, lifestyle management, taking care of yourself, exercising, water, eating habits, sleep habits. So work on try to change your lifestyle also. Just sitting in one place and crying about it is not going to help you. Get up, move, move often, take adequate sunlight. All these small things, they really have a huge impact. Not initially, but after a few months, after a few days, you will see how it is changing, how it is helping you. Reading good books, listening to music, just going for a walk, stress management, a lot of things are there. But you have to start from one thing, pick one thing, get it in your routine, then adapt the second one, then the third one. Don't overload yourself with everything. सब आज ही करना है, आज ही book reading करना है, आज ही walk करना है. One thing at a time, probably 2 to 3 things at a time. Like a goal, you said probably in this 1 month I'm going to just start with 5K steps, meditation, yoga. Then try to ensure that ये 1 month आपने बिना cheating के you have done. और कोई चलो weekends आप skip कर सकते हो, but at least Monday to Friday you're being very disciplined with this. Then start something else. So of course that can only be help मतलब therapist के साथ ही आप कर सकते हो. And self help करना है तो you can try your own ways.
Well, that's very interesting because it's more like self care is very important.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of things that you said apart from therapy like CBT, REBT, a lot of things were actually self care.
Totally.
That how you take care of yourself, your emotional health, how you do meditation, your breath work, yoga, you go for you go out, take some sunlight, drink water regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and thank you so much, Munira, for taking us through the entire topic. And it's been very useful for me as well, and I'm sure for our viewers to go through this topic and understand more about trauma and trauma triggers.
Thank you for the opportunity. Like, it was really interesting to, converse on these things. Of course, there are people talking, but, when we are, touching certain areas which is unknown to anybody, it's really interesting. I hope that, the viewers also are taking back something home from this conversation for sure.
I'm sure. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day, and we'll see you for the next podcast. We hope you find today's discussion relevant for you. Please do like, share, and subscribe for the video. If you have any comments, give us your comments in the comment box below. If you want us to cover any of the issues that you're facing, please do email us at happierhour.sg@gmail.com. We'll try our best to cover those topics in our next podcast. Of course, we'll keep it anonymous. Thank you.